Oh, hi guys, welcome to Coffee Corner. My name is Jarina. I was just messing with my bangs because I cut them recently and I like their length, but on camera they're sort of a pain in the butt because they don't always like to stay in the right spot. So if you see me messing with that, that's why. But like I said, welcome back to Coffee Corner. We're so glad to have you guys back. So let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, let's see. I just poured my tea, so it's not actually quite as strong as I want it. So hopefully sometime during filming it's actually strong enough, because I already had 2 cups of coffee today, so I figured I probably should not drink coffee and drink tea. So it gives me a good excuse to drink tea. I mean, I like drinking tea, but I don't know. I had 2 cups, so I didn't need another cup of coffee, but I needed something hot. So that's why the tea came out today, right now. I'm actually filming this at night, so I also didn't want to drink coffee right before going to bed. Even though it really doesn't affect me, I can be drinking a cup of coffee and start falling asleep with it in my hand, or at least I could in college. I really haven't tried that theory out since getting out of college, so maybe maybe I'm not quite as, I don't know, exhausted and completely. Sorry, I saw like a random light and I thought I saw something like a bug. So no. Okay. So yeah, I haven't tried drinking coffee right before bed since getting out of college. So who knows? Maybe I'm like actually a normal person now and coffee wouldn't let me go back to sleep. I don't know. I'm not planning on trying that anytime soon. So, but let's go ahead and jump into our Bible right now. So as you guys know, I'm reading through Gospels, and it's actually going through it more of in a chronological order, using all of the books at the same time, actually is a little bit slower than I thought it was going to. This segment that I'm going to share with you guys is actually from a few days ago, and I was only in Luke 4. I think I just finished Luke 4 today. So yeah, it's going a little bit slower than I was expecting, but that's fine. Like, it's not a big deal, but it is slower. So we might be in the Gospels for a while. Maybe getting a lot of Gospel stuff, other than Psalms for a while. So the thing that I want to share with you guys today was, it's when Jesus is in the synagogue and he's given the scroll of Isaiah and he reads prophecy that's about himself, and he goes on to explain that he is the person that Isaiah is talking about. But I just want to go ahead and read the verse that stuck out to me, and this is a quote from Isaiah that Christ is reading. He says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, recovering of sight to the blind, set at liberty to them that are bruised." And that's one verse in Luke. It's Luke 4:18. And then there's a verse in Matthew from the same event that I want to highlight a part of. Matthew 4:16 says, "The people which sat in darkness saw great light. And to them which sat in the region and the shadow of death, light has sprung up." And that's specifically talking about the certain people group that saw Christ, but I think it's applicable to today. And my message really today is for those of you who maybe you feel lonely, you feel forgotten, you feel rejected, and maybe that's no one listening to the first time this comes out. Who knows? I don't know. But whoever you are and you're listening to this, know that Christ is for you. Christ didn't just come for the elite. He didn't come for the good people. He didn't come for the people that have their lives together. He came for the poor. He came for the brokenhearted. I know that there are so many people out there that are dealing with so many heartaches, and you literally feel like your heart is breaking. Christ came for you. to preach deliverance to the captives, whether that's a physical captivity or whether it's an addiction or a habit, whatever is holding you captive. Christ came to free you from your captivity, and recovering the sight of the blind. That is something Christ actually did during his time, and to set at liberty them that are bruised. There are so many people out there, and maybe it's you, maybe the person that's listening, you feel bruised, you feel like life has just dealt you a really hard hand and you can't seem to get up without being knocked down again and again and again. I don't know what your situation is, but as I was reading this, I couldn't help but think of people I've met, of people who are just struggling, and on days that I feel like I'm just struggling and I feel horrible, and you get to the point where you're like, why does God love me? How could God love me? I'm a mess. That's how God could love you, because God sent his son for the worst of people, for the people that are at their worst, for the people that are down and out. Maybe, honestly, that's the best spot Christ can find you at, because you have nothing else to turn to. You can't, you point to your own greatness or your own goodness. You're done and you're dried up. And Christ came for us when we're broken, when we're bruised, when we're being held by our own sinful passions. That's when Christ came. And if you're fall into one of these today, if you fall into one of these descriptors, you're heartbroken, you feel like you're a captive, you're bruised, you're poor, you're needy, you don't have what you think you need, you feel like you're sitting in darkness, you don't see light at the end of the tunnel. Christ came for you. He came to deliver you in a much deeper way than just your physical way. He came to deliver you spiritually from the sin that's holding you captive, from the sin that's continually bruising you and causing you grief and heartache and brokenheartedness, and is keeping you without any light in your life. And I know that we have a very hurting world, and I talked about, as believers, we're supposed to show Christ's love. We're supposed to show this God who came to the neediest, the poorest, the most outcast people, look over and over and over again through Christ's ministry, and you see that he was focused on ministering to the people that would have been considered societal outcasts, and that's who he went to. And as believers, we're to show that love, and we're to go to the same people that Christ would go to. And it's not easy, and I'm not here to explain a methodology of 1, 2, 3. This is how we, minister to people. But I really think, and I'm really hoping that this journey through the Gospels will help me and give me a greater understanding of how to minister to people like Christ would minister to them. But again, believers, we're supposed to go and we're supposed to preach and teach and show the Christ that went to the brokenhearted and the captives and the bruised and the blind and the poor and the people without light. We're supposed to show them the love of Christ. And if you're in that situation today, know that even if you don't think anyone else loves you or anyone else cares, God loves you. The God of the universe, the creator of you, loves you, cares about you, and has a purpose for your life. And he would love for you to come back to him if you're a believer and you find yourself. It's not just the unbelievers that find themselves in a dark state, in a broken-hearted state. Believers we find ourselves there too. If you find yourself in there, know that God is there. He's waiting for you to turn. He has the comfort. He has the salvation that you need. And I think this is such an applicable message to a world that is hurting, that's dying, that has so much, doesn't have any hope. They're so lost. And we have a God that brings so much hope and so much healing. So I hope that this was an encouragement to maybe someone that finds themselves in this situation, that it's a challenge for believers, again, to just love as Christ would love, even when it's hard. And, to those who are very unlovely and maybe don't want to be loved, at least not externally, they don't come off as someone that wants to be loved on. So just, keep going and show love. Christ in this dying and hurting world. So we love you guys, and we hope to see you guys joining back. And I need to turn my tea. Perfect timing. So 10 minutes later, it's actually ready to go. So have a great day, guys. Love you guys. Subscribe below if you haven't, and we'll see you here next time. Bye.